we're streaming on YouTube, so people will start showing up over there. And let's talk about whether or not we should even be here at 8 o'clock this morning. Probably not. That's the truth. Building permits, housing starts. So we had a week this week, pretty light trading. If you look at the schedule, it's summer. The summer's almost over. Um, a lot of people take vacations now going into the end of the summer for Labor Day. Um, I've been thinking a lot about what you want to do to try to maximize the best way to make money. Don't trade the crappy reports. All right? It's really not complicated. Don't trade the crappy reports. Should I not have a trade room because it's a crappy report? Probably. I probably am doing a disservice by having a trade room for building permits and housing starts. I don't think it's a good report to trade. Our testing showed virtually nothing to do. There's only been a couple of building permits that offer any possibility. Like I said in the DMM, there were a couple of reports that traded by themselves. Maybe you could have a profit. But I said also use micros if you're going to trade at all. So I'll trade it in my eval to see if our testing works on these. I'm curious. Um, but these are not building permits, housing starts. This is no great way to make money. I mean, that's the honest truth. It's not. But here's the other side. Here's the reason I had interest. Housing is important right now. The interest rates are in a weird place because of what's going on with the war. Um, so there's a lot of interest in this kind of report, where in the past there was probably less interest. The other thing is, I do think the markets are quite negative today, and they're going to get more and more negative as the day goes on. The world news is extremely bad. Um, I'm not going to comment on what I think politically, but if you just look at the world news is not good. The strait is closed. Um, Ships are not traveling. It's a problem. The world's in trouble, and nothing's really being done properly about it. Um, it seems to me also that the Russia-Ukraine war is much more violent than it's been recently. That's scary as well. Um, so it's just that news has a very negative effect, I think, on the markets. Although you'd never know it half the time. More than half the time, the markets are still going up. It makes no sense. You just don't even know what to think anymore. I mean, that's part of the problem. Everything is upside down and insane. It's insane. And then in 1 second, there could be a tweet that changes everything, absolutely everything. So you have to be extremely careful. Pick the events that you trade carefully. I mean, we do quite well at the opens. People are making money in general at the opens, so we'll continue doing the opens. We're looking for the good traditional events like Home Depot this morning. If you see us in the trade room at 5:30 in the morning with a family money trade and you don't get up, then you don't make the money with us. Home Depot makes money, and it made money this morning. All right. Building permits and housing starts. Here's what's curious about it. Let's take a look. I'll tell you something funny. So, I watch a lot of crazy videos. I watch a lot of stuff. I watch car videos. I watch housing videos. Nice, TJ. I watch car videos, housing videos, political videos, comedy videos, music videos. I watch a lot of different things. And one of the things I watch is this guy named Jimmy Rigg. who goes around to Walmart and various stores. He weighs the food. We are being scammed everywhere we turn, and the government wants no regulation so they can all cheat us. Half the food, more than half the food is underweight. You're being ripped off if you're not being poisoned. It's beyond belief. Anyway, this guy Jimmy Rigg, very cool videos. He goes around, particularly he started at Walmart. Is anyone surprised that Walmart, so much of their food is underweight? And they blame the packer. They blame the packer. Nobody takes responsibility for a single thing in life. Nothing. No one's responsible. They did it. It's never I did it. If I have a bad trade, I did it. I set it up. I tested it. I did it. All right. My left chart, MGC 1226. MGC 1226. One of our members was asking me a question about automating everything that they do. I'm going to have a webinar before the month is over, just going over the features in our software that let you do what TJ did. But I also want to talk about the risk of it. Things can go haywire, and you could have a big problem if you're not watching your computer. You could lose your account. It could happen, and that's the thing you have to realize. I used to trade um, in the middle of the night when I was a trade station user, and I would go to sleep with my laptop on my stomach, and I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would watch. I would still always watch every trade. I have never had a history of trading unattended. Unattended. I We have it in the software because so many people ask for it. But unattended to me means you're in the other room and you can go check on your machine. I don't love the idea of unattended nowhere near your computer unless you're willing to lose the account if something goes wrong and the safeties don't work. It could happen. You got to be careful. MGC 1226. First thing I'm going to do is convert my reverse continue. We had a YM chart this morning. I usually do two contracts, one position with a 50 target and a 50 stop for a reverse continue on micro gold. That's my normal scalp setup for micro gold. Then I label it MGC reverse continue and I choose the account I'm trading in. This morning I will trade in my eval for our trades this morning. One will probably be sim, one will be eval. I'm not trading funded account either of these trades, neither one. And my eval can't trade enough contracts to do two trap trades. So MNQ will probably be sim because of that. Or maybe I'll trade it in a funded account. What the heck? It's not going to blow up. It's not going to blow the account up. You know, there is a way to trade a trap trade with one tier. Trade the outer tier, not the inner. Trade the outer tier only. If you don't get a fill, you know the deal. If you don't get a fill, it's not the end of the world. There's always another trade if you don't get filled. MGC reverse continue. Position one is a two contracts. Target one is 50. Stop is 50. Label it MGC reverse continue. Choose the account you're trading under setup. Apply it. Add the second news trader setup to your chart. I have a magnet. It was a YM magnet. I'm going to make a slight modification to it. High of day, low of day at the moment is off. Position 2 contracts on position 1. Stop at 50. All right. Label it MGC magnet. And I'm trading it in my eval. Right? Magnets, most of the time, we're just looking for signals. putting my eval on. All right. We're looking for signals. When you turn your magnet on, that's when you get your signals. But I'm not turning anything on yet. I want to set up the trap trade on MGC. Right click, click strategies, click trap trade, double click it. The stop is 40. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. A trap trade creates two brackets above and below the current price. When you go up, we sell. When you go down, we buy. A trap trade is a reversal trade. Stop is 40, position 1 is 1, position 2 is 1. That means each order has one contract. Tier 1 is 20. These are small tiers because this report didn't move. But if gold is volatile because of the war, you could get stuck in an outsized move that stops you out. 39 is tier 2. 20 and 39 with a stop of 40. Label it trap MGC, and I will trade it in my eval. Apply it. Okay. Now I turn them trap on first. Make sure you can see your cancel outer tier button at the top. If only one of the orders fills and we get the opportunity to move our stop into profit, that removes the order that's in the way of the stop. If the reversal starts taking place and only one order fills, that order will be in the way if you want to move your stop to safety. The trade will still execute properly, whether you move your stop to safety or not, but it won't trail if you're not trailing. Okay? Trap gets turned on first, then I turn on my magnet and my reverse continue. Everybody, please, every morning, go to the website time.is and make sure your computer is in sync. If your computer is not in sync, in the trade room file folder, there is a couple of programs that help put your computer in sync. D4 Time and Karen's Time Sync. You install those programs on your computer and run them to put your computer in sync. They have a Sync Now button, and you want to use it if you need it. You don't want to trade if your computer is not in sync. Okay? That's very important. That's critical. That's not a small piece of info. You must be in sync. Here's Dimension 4. It's the program I like. Larry likes Karen's Time Sync. They basically are very, very similar. On the MNQ, right-click the chart. We're going to put a reverse continue on the chart. Double-click News Trader. Change the breakout to a reverse continue. Position 1, I use 2 contracts, 100 on the stop, 100 on the target. Target 1 is 100, the stop is 100. MNQ reverse continue is my label. And where am I going to trade this? What account?
10 seconds.
It has to be an account that I'm allowed to trade 4 contracts, at least. So we'll do a good funded account, even though this is
229
not a
spot
great
1K,
trade. It's
229
just,
spot
I don't
1K,
feel
1
like
spot 5,
simming.
250K.
Let's see what
CAD
happens.
weekly employment change 9 spot 5K, 9 spot 5K.
Apply it. Now I'm going to double check my magnet. And it is already MNQ, so it should be looking fine. Need to check the account we're trading on. The magnet MNQ is labeled. I'm on the account, apply it, and now put the trap trade on for the MNQ. Oh, you know what I didn't do on gold? We didn't put the time in
Any
to
time
trigger the trade, so I'll go
immediately
back
before
and do that. Don't
confirmation
forget,
final sports execution
activate the
period.
trade.
Highly
It's
sensitive
not at
intelligence
10
information has
o'clock.
been shared with the US at the highest level
It's
previously.
8:29:55. That's our activation time. Our stop is 80 on MNQ. Tier 1 is 40. Tier 2 is 75. Label it trap MNQ and put it in the same account as all of our setups on this particular chart. That's the setup. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. If you want to trade more contracts, if you thought this was a big winning, great trade, you could add more contracts. Position size 1, you could make it a 3. 3 contracts. If you just want to trade one position, trade the higher tier. So tier 1 would be 75, tier 2 would be 0. That's all. It's not that complicated. A lot of what we do makes sense. We do we did have ADP weekly, right? Let's see, I wasn't watching gold. We do have the gold open coming up right now. I would have traded the gold open. Today's news would not necessarily stop me from trading the gold open. 829.55, 80 on the stop, 40 and 75 on the tiers, and our account is chosen. Let's watch the gold open very quickly, fixing my time on the gold trap trade. I never updated it. The time is 8:29:55. 8:29:55. Position 1's a 1, position 2's a 1. Stop is 40, 20, and 39 on the tiers. Choose your account, and let's watch the gold open here. Usually we use a bracket of about 20 on the gold open. Now, the 8:15 trade candle was this candle, not the one exactly on 8:15. On a 1 minute chart, your trade candle is the first candle after the exact time of the event. So if we had an 8:15 ADP weekly report, it moved 22 ticks. We would have had at least a 15 or 20 tick bracket. It was a no trade, no profit, no nothing. Not worth trading it. That report, the weekly ADP, has not been worth trading. The gold open yesterday had a good trade, but more often than not, it's inconsistent and not giving us a good setup. I think gold's going to test the low. I think a short right now would not be terrible. Like we took a short yesterday before NOPA, a long, I mean, because of the news that we had. We did a little bit of research, found some really interesting bullish news all about soybean oil. I took a long before the news, and it was a nice profitable trade in addition to a nice breakout. We're using AI a little bit more than ever. Here's the gold open. So much for
Then we need
short,
to get the
right?
US housing starts data and forecast
So much for
1.345
short.
million and
Looks like we
1.625
have
million.
two
Building
working gold
permits
opens in a
forecast
row.
1.375 million and
Two good gold
1.625
opens
million.
in a row. What are you going
Housing
to do?
starts change month to month.
I was thinking of trading
Forecast
it,
minus
but
5.9%
it
higher
hasn't been very
3.6%.
good. Didn't trade it.
Building permits change month to month. Forecast 0.6% higher minus 3.6%.
Let's see how many
Input
ticks
prices
it
month to month.
actually
Forecast
moved
0.1%, price 0.3%.
when the
Export
candle's
prices
done.
forecast 0, prior minus 0.6%.
30 seconds. Pretty good move. 57 ticks. That's a winning gold open because it was mostly in one direction and it didn't pull back that much. That's why 9 times out of 10, I will not take a position before an event because most of the time the market will hand it to you. I had no definite reason to go short. I was just thinking because gold has been somewhat down this morning and didn't even do a lot of analysis. I'm not jumping in without a lot of analysis. Now, that's pretty interesting, however. That still tells me gold's going to go short today. I think gold's going to be short today. Yes, the open is up, but ultimately, keep an eye on the VWAP and the PP. If it breaks it, maybe you'll reconsider, but I still think gold's a short. Look at the move it had today. Um, it went from high to low last night, right? High to low. It's pretty incredible. Hang on. It's hang on, my ruler. 464 ticks. $46. Gold dropped. $46. At 10 o'clock to 2 a.m. Over 4 hours. No, over 5 hours. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. All right, let's look at our setups once more. It's an 8:30 event. The risk with gold is it could just move too much on this report. That's the risk. I still think we'll probably get a good up and down move, but I think it's extremely possible it'll move more than the 39 ticks. Now, we do have a 40 stop, so our zone of safety is 79 ticks. Okay. Looking at our micro gold setups one more time. So we have the trap as the main trade. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Activate at 829.55. The stop is 40. Tier 1 is 20. Tier 2 is 39. I'll say it again. These are not great opportunities because this report doesn't usually trade by itself. It often trades with other news. We did create a spike sheet for it. I'll show it to you. Let me see if I could find it. I thought we did. Give me a second.
So I'm just going to give you housing starts data forecast 1.345 million, prior 1.427 million. US import prices month to month forecast 0.1%
Let me just
price
get
increase
everything
for
set
3%.
up.
US
Stop of
building permits
40, 20,
forecast
and 39 on the
1.345 million,
tiers.
prior
Choose your
1.427
account.
million. Housing starts
Label your
change month to month
trade.
forecast
Apply it
purchase
and
prices
OK
1%,
it.
prior 19%.
All right.
Export prices month to month forecast 0%, prior minus 0.6%. And US building permits change month to month forecast 0.6%, prior
Turning
minus
on
3.6%.
our MNQ. So the risk here, in my opinion, is that the markets are just going to go in one direction because ultimately they're very negative. That's the risk. So we could just get a move down on the NQ, MNQ. And the same thing could be true for gold. That ruins a trap trade. A move in one direction without a reversal is exactly what ruins a trap trade. I don't like, well, you know what? We're trading two MNQs. It's 50 cents a tick. I think the MNQ will get stopped out and gold will work. That's my prediction. Just, I think the NQ is going to just go test the low. Turning on the trap for the MNQ. Spread your chart a little bit so the orders aren't all scrunched up. Turning on the magnet, MNQ, the reverse continue. Now, if you don't want to trade the trap, you could turn your magnet on, high of day, low of day, enter the market. If it breaks 700, sorry, that might be an interesting magnet. You would press magnet entry after the news. The problem is I don't trade magnets like breakouts. You may get that move before the news. Some people would turn the magnet on automatic before the news, then just trade a breakout. Okay, that's not what the magnet was designed to do. But we have a trap, so I'm turning off my orders. Our MNQ is set up. I can see the cancel button. My trap MGC is on. Magnet reverse. I think we're going to get a test of the low in both markets. That's what I'm thinking. It may be triggered by the news. It may not be because it's not a very big news moving report, market moving report. So it may be as we're getting ready for the opens that we get this move down. It may not be triggered by housing. Now, there is extra news. We do have partial trade balance. Import and export prices, that's usually associated with a trade balance report. All right. So the real issue is I'm here because we had a unique situation where building permits and housing starts had 3 months where it traded by itself, and it had three gold trap trades that worked with our setup with phenomenal reversals on gold. That's why I'm trying it. Okay? That's why I'm trying it. I think it's time for a refresh on what a spike sheet is, right? Now, keep in mind, on YouTube, you can find a
Yes,
webinar
gonna
on
have to be the US monthly
every
forecast.
subject, every single subject that we have in a webinar is on YouTube public for anybody to watch. So if you want to, first of all, absolutely, you should become a member of our YouTube channel. Subscribe. We're always putting lots of fun stuff up there, winning trades, lessons, every webinar, every schedule, lots of streams. Here we go. So our orders are going to show up 5 seconds before the
10
news.
seconds.
I'll make sure I can see all my stops and
Order
see it's a
submitted.
little scrunched. MNQ on the right, gold on the
One
left.
spot 239 million,
The
one
news
spot
is out.
239 million, low in the forecast.
Gold's
Order
going
canceled.
up. Now
234
I want to
million,
see it
building permits,
reverse.
one spot
See how I
4436, one
didn't,
spot
I'm
4433,
going to cancel
import
my
prices,
outer
one spot
tier
275 million,
if it
housing
does,
starts
if it
month, housing
continues the
starts beginning month to
reversal.
month, minus
Order
300
Canceling the
canceled.
outer
minus
tier,
44
moving my stop to
low in the forecast,
safety,
minus
expanding
575
my
million.
target.
Export prices month to
Now I'm
month,
going to
minus
trail
3
if it goes down
3.13% low in the
because I'm
forecast,
in,
minus 0.0%. Import prices from the US month to month,
I'm going to
minus
keep trailing.
0.7%, minus
The
0.7% low
NQ,
in the
I'm
forecast,
gonna, I would,
Order
I was
canceled.
going to say I would
US building
cancel
permits
that.
change month to month,
I
minus
don't think it's going to be
0.5%
a
low in the
good trade.
forecast,
I'm
minus
closing out
0.6%
my
low.
NQ.
Order
for a
filled.
tiny, tiny profit because I think the NQ is going to just continue down to the low. If it doesn't, I don't really care. I don't want to risk the money on that trade. I believe it's going to test the low. The NQ magnet, I'll
Order
take a short
submitted.
to the low. That I'm more interested in doing. I think the NQ is going to get to the low while I'm managing. I don't even want a 100 tick stop though. Okay, it's a funded account. If I can get to safety, that's where I'll go. As soon as I can get to safety, I'll put my stop there or it'll be a
They have
tiny
posted
loss.
out both reports for housing
Tiny
data
loss.
and
Gold,
export and import prices on the feed for you to read through.
Order
now I
canceled.
want a little bit more risk than that. Probably top of the candle. I think it's going to go low. So we made money on the MGC trap. All right. We were able to manage it a little bit distractedly. Okay. Because I'm watching this trade here. Something happened in the news that just caused that move. Guaranteed that's not normal. All right. That's not normal. I'm going to let it stop. It'll stop me out if it doesn't. I'd be shocked if we don't get stopped now. That's crazy. Whatever happened. Now it's not a lot of risk. I'm just expanding the stop a tiny bit. Maybe something. I don't know what happened. The downward trend is the move. If we could survive this, I still think we're going to test the low. So the MNQ trap did work a little better. I was too conservative. Something happened, and there's nothing in the news that caused that pop up. But that's not normal. That was not a normal move. Now, that's about all the risk I'm willing to take, about 60 bucks at this moment, because I have other setups that I'd rather trade than building permits housing starts. Now, we are going to get stopped. I'd be shocked if this doesn't stop out. That would be a shock. Total shock. Market's very negative, though, still. Our gold trade, the trap trade's over. So trap MGC, you can remove that. Right click, remove trap MGC. That's why you label your setups too. You don't want to remove the wrong setup, right? Trap MGC. That's the setup you want to remove. Hang on. So overall disappointing housing numbers is what they're saying. You can see that the housing starts are negative.
Seeing prior
You
revisions
can
from
see that the
July
housing
starts
starts
data
for July are
showing prices of
negative. Month
1.415
over
million and
month, you
average order value
can't
of
tell.
1.427 million.
Way lower than the previous, very negative. Building permits are up though in July. That's interesting. So building permits are good. So it's mixed news. We call that mixed news. Okay? That's called mixed news. This morning we do have industrial production capacity utilization. We don't even watch that report anymore. It does not affect the markets. Has not affected the markets in years. We will stay through pending home sales this morning, but I will not trade it. We don't have a really safe setup for that event. It doesn't really have a safe setup. Now, I'm still in this MNQ trade. We do have our 9 o'clock gold trades. Okay. I'm going to leave this trade on. I'm not going anywhere with it. My risk is about $70. If it'll, give me a small profit, I'll exit so I could go on to gold. I need the chart for gold. And I'm going to also bring my RTY chart on for the morning as we get ready for the opens. All right. Here we go. I'd like to move my stop to safety when I can. And I'd like a test of this low. All right. A test. It just missed my target by like a tick, a little couple of ticks, 5 ticks. Now, if it takes me out now, that's life. I think it's going to test, so I'm not going to move my stop anymore, but I'm just
Order
locking
filled.
in half the move. Half the move. Okay, we patiently moved the stop up to survive. I really believe, look, the NQ, MNQ, it's down 400 points. Whatever caused that one candle to pop, we were able to survive it by increasing our stop. You never have to be afraid to increase your stop if your risk isn't going to blow up your account. There's no reason not to do that if you think the trend is still lower. And if you notice, momentum never changed. It tested the low here, okay? Our theory is correct. I was not going to allow an anomaly candle that we don't even know why it did it to take us out. The real stop should have been above that previous candle. That was the perfect stop right there, above that candle. And I was a bit lower than that. All right. Okay, we're going to turn this into a micro gold chart now. I'm turning everything off. Now we have our 9 a.m. gold volatility trades. MGC 1226. You can trade these on full size gold if you want to. That's more risk, obviously. I trade them on micro gold. That's where I trade them because I trade so many trades during the day. I want to trade like a newbie retail trader to give everybody an idea of what you could really do if you are not an expert. Okay. Yes, there are times when I trade like an expert, and it is what it is. So we have two setups thanks to Nitin, one of our members who said, "Hey, I noticed gold's moving great at 9 o'clock. Silver too." And we're not shy. We stole his trades. We, I think we slightly changed the tiers, but it's basically Nitin's trade. The trap trade is our favorite setup. It's been working better than the bracket breakout. We totally changed the breakout and we may have ruined it. It looks almost like Good Morning Kenny that we ruined it. Um, but we have testing on it and we're not giving up on our testing yet because our testing is only 2 or 3 days of testing. Last week was not a good week for the gold 9 a.m. breakout. It worked poorly most of the week. It had at least two stops. But that doesn't mean you give up on your testing in 1 week. Testing, we tested, I think we tested 3 weeks to a month of recent trading. So you stay with your testing for a bit. If you know, eventually you're going to know if it's failing. So in the middle chart, that gold's going to test the darn low here. That's what's going on. gold wants to make a new low as much as the NQ did. That's a different trade, right? We do have a trap trade. We're getting rid of it. Our charts were set up for MNQ. Micro gold, just change the stop to 50 on your MNQ magnet. Everything else can stay the same. Two contracts, position one, label it MGC magnet, all right? And then choose the account you're trading. And then the reverse continue, just change the stop from 100 to 50, and the target can go to 50 also. Tomorrow, I'll look at the schedule, but we've had two great gold opens. I'll go back to trading the gold open for a couple of days to see if it's changing, if we're around. MGC, reverse continue, putting ourselves in our eval. So we have two setups, and now we need our breakout. Our 9 a.m. breakout. Let's look. Oh, we have gold right here on the left. Now, one thing we're going to have to do, and we should have done it on this chart, on the reverse continue, put the name. We have two gold charts, so we're going to have multiple setups that are exactly the same that could have the same names. So on one chart, I'm going to put my account number in front of the name of the setup. So 43 MGC reverse continue, apply it to make the change. And then the magnet, 43 MGC magnet. That way I know which setup is which. If I want to remove them or turn them on or off, apply that. Now I'm going to add my breakout, my 9 a.m. breakout. I'm going to load my template. Gold 9 a.m. breakout is what I'm looking for. And it really may be that our bracket is just too darn small, and that's what's hurting us. Although yesterday Nitton's bigger bracket didn't work either. So yesterday the trade just didn't work. Small or big bracket. Micros, in my opinion, are proper for especially the breakout. Gold open. I need the gold 9 a.m. open. Right click it and rename it with today's date. Every setup should be renamed every day with the correct date. Update the date on every setup so when you come back 3 days later, you know what's going on. You can pull up the most recent time you traded it. If you come in tomorrow, if you're like us, we have 5, 7, 10 different setups. You're not going to remember every setup the way you traded it. If I date it and I come back tomorrow, I just load what I traded yesterday. When you load it, it saves it. Good morning. Who is it? Callist. Hey, oh, I got it. Good morning on YouTube. MGC breakout 9 a.m. 8:59:55 is our trigger time. I'm setting it to 0 because I'll be checking the bracket. 8:59:55 is the trigger. Right now our bracket is 12 because that's what we tested was working. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 20, target 2 is 35, our stop is 30, target 1 stop move is break even, BE. Label it MGC BRK 9 a.m. Leave it on sim. Apply it. Okay it. Spread your chart a little bit. Put your chart trader on sim. Turn on your breakout if you're testing. That's why we label it. I don't want to turn on my magnet yet. Turning on my breakout.
Order submitted.
There's my orders. Spread it apart a little bit. That's the way I like to trade. I don't want it all scrunched up like that. I can't trade it like that. Okay?
Order canceled.
So I have my breakout. Turn it off. I have my bracket set nicely. Right click the strategy. Double click. Highlight the
Okay,
breakout.
so go
Click
to
it
the
once.
US stroke
Put the
GBP
time back.
multiplier 8 spot 3%.
8:59:55. Put the time back. Who knows where the time goes? One of the worst songs ever written. Hate that song. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Bracket of 12. Target 20. Target 35. Stop of 30. BE on the target 1 stop move. Now put it back on the account you're trading. I'm in my eval. Make sure you're labeled 43 MGC, right? All the strategies on this chart get a 43 in front of the setup name. Apply it and okay it. Why? Make sure your chart trader is on 43, the account. That's why. All right. When I look up top, I know it's different than my other magnet on gold, same type of chart, MGC. It's so there's no confusion. Turn on your breakout first. Turn on your magnet second. Turn on your reverse continue third. Okay? I'm ready on my breakout trade. I'm ready. Now, on my left chart, I've got the trap trade. Anybody have any questions so far? Just as a reminder, every chart gets multiple settings. I'm going to say this over and over and over and over and over every day. Every chart gets multiple setups. Like, look, I have my RTY chart all the way on the right. Right click it. Click strategy. Click news trader. Every chart gets a reverse continue. Change the breakout. Reverse continue. RTY, one position. That's what I'm choosing. 35 target, 35 stop. That's my RTY safe scalp. I'm going to label it RTY reverse continue. And I'm going to choose the account I'm trading the RTY in. All right? That's what I'm doing. Apply it and okay it. I'm done right now on the RTY. I can turn on my reverse. Actually, let me tell you something that makes things easier. If you do all three setups in a row, it'll put all three setups in a row on the control panel. So I'm going to set up my RTY magnet, leave it on off at the moment, one position, 35, stop. Everything else is default. Label it RTY magnet. And I'll go back to the RTY after our gold opens. And I'm trading my RTY on a certain funded account. And I'll apply it. Now I'll also click News Trader. We have three setups on the RTY. The main one is the range trade that I'm loading my template right now. RTY range. Remember, the RTY 5-minute opening range is exactly the same as our YM. Almost exactly the same as our YM RTY open. 5-minute open. There might be a different stop. That might be the only difference generally. RTY, but very, 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 very close. Right click it, rename it with today's date. The main trades, not your reverse continues and your magnets, the main trades get renamed every day with the current date. Today's the 18th. Load it and it saves it. Our RTY range trade is labeled RTY range. Same account as all the charts, all the setups on that chart. Go to the top. The range ends at 9:30:00. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Make sure it says range trade at trade type. Target 1 is 10. Target 2 is 20. Target 1 stop move is BE. I've been rethinking that, and my stop is 35. Like BE minus 4. I want to see if we can try and stay in if it hits the first target and does a small reversal. BE minus 4 instead of BE today. Just experimenting. BE is the norm. All right. And now RTY range, we have the right account, apply it, okay it, and our RTY is set up, and all three trades are together in a row. That's very convenient. We don't have to turn on anything on our RTY really except the magnet at the moment and the reverse continue. If you want to see signals, you can. However, let's get back to our gold 9 a.m. trap on our MGC. Right, we have our 9 a.m. breakout in the middle. That's this chart. Now we're going to set up our 9 a.m. gold trap. This was a gold chart
Platform is going to give the US rotary
for
EMA
building
higher
permits and
interest
housing
rate.
starts, so we have setups already on this chart. Keep your setups that are on the chart to save time and modify them if it's a different instrument. So we're going to right click the chart, left click strategy, and we have a micro gold magnet. We don't even have to change it. Always check your account though. It may be a different trading account. Where are we going to trade our magnet? I mean our trap, our gold trap. The gold trap's been behaving pretty well. So it is micro gold. Bear with me, I'm just thinking about something. Okay, I'm going to trade it funded. It's already labeled. Apply it. And then my reverse continue for micro gold. Same funded. It's already set up. Position one, I use two contracts, 50 target, 50 stop. That's the way I trade a gold reversal continuation, i.e. a scalp. Label it MGC reverse continue. Apply it. And we're going to put our trap on. Third setup. Double click it. Triggering at 8:59:55. The stop. Let's load our template because I don't remember all the setups. Loading my 9 a.m. gold trap. Gold 9 a.m. trap is what I call it. Right click it, rename it with today's date. So I just changed to the 18th. Load it, it saves it, and now 8:59:55 is our trigger. The stop is 40. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Tier 1 is 35. Tier 2 is 60. Label it Trap MGC. Choose the account you're trading it in. Same account for every setup. Apply it. Okay it. Make sure your chart trader is on the right account. Okay. And we are. Now, it's a trap trade. Turn on Trap MGC first. You always want to see if your cancel outer tier button is available if it only fills one tier. Remember, right? Only fills one tier. So then we'll turn on our MGC magnet and our MGC reverse continue. I do still believe MGC is going to go test the low. I sometimes, if I were trading alone in my office, I might take a short here before the 9 a.m. news and expect the 9 a.m. news to trigger me in the short direction. That's riskier, right? That's more risky than just waiting for your 9 o'clock volatility trade to kick in. But we've got a market that really is looking
Yes,
that
that's about
way.
60%.
You know, it's just there's a lot of evidence that says, hey, there's a really good chance we're going to test the low. So you could just do a magnet if you don't want to take the breakout. Turn the high of day, low of day orders on. Adjust where you want to enter, right? and you could turn it automatic and then make sure you turn off your breakout by unchecking the breakout. You don't want both trades to trigger at the same time in the same account. So you could do this as a magnet. You have three ways you could trade this, really. Magnet, I just showed you, right? Turn the triggering on. Off just means the high of day, low of day orders are not on the chart. Okay? That's what off means. It doesn't mean you're not going to get signals. It doesn't mean the trade isn't, the setup isn't generating and working. Okay? The third type of trade is gold. I'm so sure gold's taken a short, and this is an eval. If I was trading alone, I would go short right now, and I would cancel my breakout. But we're here. I want to test the breakout. I'd like to survive and not make a new low until we get our trade. So I love the fact that it's going up. Anybody have any questions? More than happy to answer. This morning we traded Home Depot. We had a great trade. Hit the first target for most everybody, plus trailing. It did not hit our second target, just missed hitting the 45 tick second target. Now I have a really great webinar coming up with Ninja Trader Thursday. I would love if everybody signs up. I'm posting it on the internet. So traders of the internet, sign up. By checking the strategy, it turns it on. It enables it. It puts it in active mode, and it's going to trigger at the time you've programmed into the strategy. Absolutely. It's an automatic entry on a breakout. Breakouts have automatic entries. Trap trades, automatic entries. Range trades, automatic entries. When the range ends, the orders are put on the chart above and below the range in the number of ticks you told it. How many ticks above or below the range? It puts it on. So range trade, automatic entry. Magnet trade, sometimes automatic if the button is pressed, sometimes discretionary if it hits your order level and the button is not purple in auto mode. The magnet blinks purple, and if you press the blinking purple button, the trade activates. Reverse continuations are always discretionary entries, always. And we have a lot of other setups in the software, believe it or not, that we just don't use. We have a reverse breakout. It's the exact opposite of a breakout trade. You type in the prices where you think it might reverse, and you make it reverse there if the price gets there. For instance, if I was trading a reverse breakout right now on a trade that moved a lot, I would trade a reversal right at the PP and the VWAP. That's a great reversal spot. All right, we're watching the breakout first. Of course, I'm watching the trap, but usually a trap will take more time to unfold. The breakouts usually happen more quickly.
Order submitted.
There's our orders. Not very volatile.
Order submitted.
Filled short. Another breakout that looks like it's not going to work. I'm not sure. I would love if this one works. I would love it if it works. Hit my first target. Hit my first. Okay. We got our breakout. Now look, our trap filled. Now I'm not even watching my gold trade, the breakout. It's in my eval. I'll trail a little bit. I'm not expanding any targets. All right. We have set targets on this trade. That's what I want to
Yesterday
know.
says Forex reserves fell 500 million euros to
I always
358.8
trail
billion
to
euros.
make a little more money. I'm always going to trail. Now that's a little too tight. All right. Hit that second target. We still have not filled our trap second order. If it starts reversing all of a sudden, I would
Order
cancel
filled.
the outer tier. Our breakout's over. Our breakout's over. MGC breakout. I'm turning it off and I'm removing it. The stop on this trap trade should be below the low. I don't care how big it is. That's the right place for the stop. I'm not going to risk all that right now because we're getting a reversal. I'm not ready to cancel the outer tier yet. It's not a big enough reversal. Gold's pretty negative, so this is not going to be a
Order
great trap
canceled.
trade in my opinion. But I can go to safety now. No matter what happens, I can't lose. And it is an important funded account. So if it gives me a tiny win when gold's very negative and I still think gold's going to the low, that's why I'm being aggressive with my stop to safety. Okay? I'm trying to give it room to breathe also,
Order canceled.
and it burst down. Now watch. Was I too aggressive or is gold going to test the low? I believe gold's going to the low.
Order
I'm
submitted.
taking a short to test that low. It's in my eval and my stop is above market structure. All right. It's not going to break the bank if this particular trade doesn't work. Now, we do have a whole bunch of market open trades. I probably shouldn't have rushed into it. I'd rather work on those. So if I get a quick profit, I'll probably just take it and forget it. All right. Let's see if we get the ability to move our stop to safety. On the left chart, you could turn off your MGC magnet and reversal continue. You can turn that chart into an MNQ. MNQ 926 because that's our market opens. Okay. And while gold is messing around there and torturing me, we can set up our MNQs. Okay. Set up our MNQs. MGC trap $8. Yeah, it was tiny, but it didn't make sense to stay in it today because the market is so bearish. Look, it reversed. It's reversing. I could be wrong. I'm not always right. We could have made more. It's going to stop me out, it looks like. I still think gold's going to go down. I'm not crazy. I still think gold's going to go down. We might survive the stop. We might. MNQ. We have three setups to trade to set up. So I'm going to right click, strategy, get rid of the trap. We don't need it anymore. That could be removed. MGC magnet is becoming an MNQ magnet. Increase the stop to 100. Position 1 is a 2. I don't need to do anything else on that magnet except relabel it. MNQ magnet, not MGC. And what account am I trading my MNQs this morning? Let me think where I want to trade my MNQs. Right now I'm going to leave it where it is. It's on my funded
MSCI
account.
Multiple of the US industrial production
Apply it.
month
We're going to
forecast
turn
rose
the
by
reverse continue into an
0.4%
MNQ
with a
reverse
range of
continue.
0.7 to minus 0.1%.
Two
US
contracts,
capacity
position 1.
utilization forecast
50 is going to be
for the month
100
of
on the
September
target.
was 76.1%. US manufacturing
The
output month on month
stop is
increased
100.
was 2% to
That's what I use
5%,
for
and
MNQ.
industrial production year on year 5%
Label it
was 0.4%.
MNQ reverse continue. and choose the account, same account as my other setup. And now I'm going to add my two breakouts. Add my two breakouts to my M&Q. So I was too, see what happens when you try to outthink the market. We had a trap. The smarter thing to do, as Nitin has shown, just leave the trade alone. If you take a trade, so there's a couple of different thought processes you can go through. Sometimes you'll save a trade and you'll save a loss by trying to outthink the market. Gold is negative. I believe you'll see we will make a new low on gold, I'll bet. I'll bet you. So being aggressive on exiting that trap, it wasn't stupid in light of the analysis of the gold market right now. It's still bearish. It's had a momentary push up, but it is still bearish. It could be changing its trend, and the market open will also be a key time for a trend change. Two thoughts: leave everything alone when you take a trade, pretty much accept all your risk. Don't get out early. Second school of thought, use your analysis. Sometimes they'll both work. Sometimes you'll lose. You understand it. Nothing is always in trading. Nothing always works. It's just the way trading is. All right, our MNQ reverse continue. We have it set up. We're now adding our breakouts. News trader. We have a 925, a pre-market open volatility setup for the MNQ. That's a guaranteed trade that we take every morning. Pre-MNQ 925. I would say its behavior has been medium over the past 2 weeks. Not incredible, medium. It is a fairly new setup, and we're not married to it forever. Pre-MNQ new. We're going to right click and date it today, the 18th. We're going to load it. Now, I'm going to apply it and OK it. Gold. So I need this chart. I need this chart, right? I need this chart. I need it for the YM. So I'm positive here. I could just exit this trade. You could watch gold probably continue to go down and test the low. Let's finish our MNQ setup. We'll just leave it alone. So we have our pre-MNQ. We're going to check our bracket by setting the time to 0. Set the time to 0. No reason not to move the stop to safety.
Israel's N12 News citing an interview with Somali MP Tashi Awad says Turkey has immense influence in
Top of the
Somalia.
top of the candle wick. Top of the candle wick. Let's see if we could. Don't stop me out, you bum. Top of the candle
Order
wick.
filled.
All right. Small profit. Put that chart on YM. Turn off your settings on the middle chart. Middle chart. 43s, we called those, right? Put it on YM. YM 0926. And let's get the magnet immediately configured. Right click, strategies. We had a magnet. We're going to rename it. You could trade one or two positions, a 40 stop, one or two contracts on position one, a 40 stop. Everything else default at the moment, but label it YM magnet. That's a big change, YM magnet. YMs, I'm on my eval. Apply it. The reverse continue for the YM. It's on the eval. Label it YM reverse continue.
Manufacturing output month to month. Forecast 0.2%, price 0%.
Two contracts, one position, 40 target, 40 stop. MNQ is going to test the low right now. I'm turning on my YM magnet. and my YM reverse continue. I'm watching them.
Also,
All right,
Somali
I'm
MQ,
watching them.
how works? So Somali has
The
performed well around
MNQ,
Turkey as well on Turks.
we were setting up our 925 breakout. It really looks like the MNQ is going to test the low. The question is, do you want to take a trade before the 925 breakout? We've got 15 minutes before that trade. I think the MNQ is going to make another test of the low. Right now, you've got momentum down, volume decent, not incredible, but we're in August. Or we could just wait, watch it, and trade our 925, whatever it does.
Order submitted.
Let's take a small, tiny stop trade for a test of the low. More to just see if my thinking is correct than anything. I'm not really doing anything, just seeing, am I right? It's very negative on the price, right? It's very negative on the price. Our YM, we could add our range trade. Click News Trader. I have a template for my opening YM range trade. YM new open range, right click it, rename it today's date. Load it. It's pretty much the same as our RTY, range trade. Make sure you click News Trader, change the breakout to a range trade. 930.00 is the setup. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is 10, target 2 is 20. Target 1 stop move is break even. Our stop 25 to 35. BE on that target 1 stop
Order
move.
filled.
All right, so I was wrong, okay? I was wrong on the NQ at the moment. Or my stop was too small. One of the two. I think stop too small. It's going to test that low again. YM range. Choose the account you're going to trade it in. Now, on the YM, you're either going to trade magnets or the range. We don't, sometimes we'll do both if a magnet triggers before the range. Now, we start the range at 930.00. Target 1 is 10, target 2 is 20, stop is 35, target 1 stop move is break even. Son of a horse. I'm not going to go to the well one more
Order
time. Yes, I am.
submitted.
This is going to test the low. I'm going to the well one more time.
Details told Bruce from
Stop
Turkey. His role
above
is
the
to research,
previous
advise,
two
and provide
candles.
intelligence on Syrian military efforts to build up its military
YM.
capabilities. We did see
YM.
some earlier news for this
Setting up that range trade. We didn't finish. Let's finish
on the
setting it
15th,
up.
the
Highlight the
US industrial
range trade.
production month to month.
Ending it at 930.00. Starting the range at 925.00. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. Label it YM range. Choose the account you're trading it in, apply it, and OK it. Now the YM has a range, it has a reverse continue, and a magnet. At the moment, I'm looking for the YM to test the low on the open. So I'm going to trade the magnet. That's what I think I'm more interested in. So I'm turning on my
Quantity
high of day,
authorized
low
by
of day
Singapore for
targeting
$30 billion
on the
in
YM.
jumbo bank loan. 10
I'm
times
going to
expected to close
increase my tick value under 400. I'm willing to enter. All right. And if it goes up over 80, I'm willing to enter. I
US spot
don't
2%,
think
Euro spot 2% lower than
it's going to
forecast.
go
Euro
up. I
spot
think this will
3%
be a
higher
short
revised for
this
Euro
morning.
spot 3% and Euro price of 1%.
You never know.
Manufacturing production month to
We were
month for Euro spot
finishing
4% as
settings
expected.
for the
Higher revised
MNQ
position spot
breakouts.
3% and
So we have
Euro
a
price of 0%.
925
Capacity utilization rate is
pre-market
86.3%
open.
as expected.
Okay. First, I'm just watching I want to move my stop. Do I want to move it to safety? Nah, it's not a big risk. So we've got our 925 pre that we didn't finish setting up.
So does
It's on
pre-open
0-0
mean
because
any
we're going to
one
check our
position
bracket, but we
or
can't do it now because we're in a trade. 30 on the bracket. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Position 3 is a 1. They're all ones. Target
Order
1 is
filled.
20. So we got stopped again. Unbelievable. Target 1 is 20. Target 2 is 35. Target 3 is 65. Stop is 50. Target 1 stop move is BE. So our 925 pre-open, it's still going to test the low. We're just not using big enough stops. 0-0, 924.59. Position 1, 2, and 3 all equal 1. 1 contract, 3 position trade. 20 target 1, 35 target 2, 65 target 3. Label it pre-MNQ. We're going to test the bracket, so we're going to leave it on sim. Put the chart on sim. Test the bracket, pre-MNQ.
Order submitted.
Good bracket for
Order
trade
canceled.
management. Right click strategy. Highlight the breakout. Put the time back to 924.59. And now put the account on the right, software account, and apply it. Now we're going to add our 930 setup. There's 4 setups on the MNQ. 2 we definitely trade, 925 and 930. Here's our 930 setup. Let me load the template. MNQ new open, we call it. MNQ new open. Right click it, date it today, 8/18. That's the date. Load it. It saves it. 9:29:59. We're not changing the time or doing anything except checking it because we'll configure it later if we have time. Okay. Bracket of 30. I trade 2 contracts on position 1, 1 on 2. Target of 1 is 20. Target 2 is 100. I use a 125 stop. Sometimes if you use a 200 or 250 tick stop, which is only 50 cents a tick, it'll keep you safer. But I've been doing okay on the MNQ market opens. I traded in a funded account, so I'm going to keep my normal setup right now. Breakout MNQ open, and I'll put it, everything on my MNQ is on the same account. So I'll apply it and OK it. Make sure our chart trader is on the account we're trading. Okay. So on the MNQ, we have our 930 breakout
key where you press the time
unchecked,
to
not
subscribe
turned
button
on
inside
yet.
the region in the phone call.
We have our
Key where it says
pre-MNQ
region time to subscribe button in
925
the phone call.
turning it
Hold
on.
down these.
We have our MNQ magnet turning it on. We have our MNQ reverse continue. If I set one up, I don't see one. I don't see an MNQ reverse continue. I need a little bit more room, tiny bit more room today to fit that. Oh, there it is. I'm not crazy. I thought I set it up. All right. If you forget how we set up the MNQ reverse continue, highlight it. MNQ reverse job reverse continue. Position 1 is 2. 100 target, 100 stop. Very simple. Scalp reverse continue. Label it MNQ reverse continue. Choose the account. Apply it. OK it. If you can't apply it, it's because you didn't make a change to it and it's already set up. So you could just OK it. Turn it back on. And our MNQ is ready to go. 925. We'll get a trade. I want a short. I want a short only, to be honest. I want a short only. YM, I think a short. The signal, it's a little bit late. I think YM's going down to test the low. Do I want to do it early? It's super low volume. Super low volume. I'm waiting for the open. All right. I'm waiting for the open right now. We've got our YM range trade. Don't forget, if you don't take a magnet or a scalp on the YM, you can trade the range trade. Just don't turn on your magnet. Don't make your magnet auto. All right. If the magnet's auto, when it gets to these heavy lines, that's your order entry. It'll fill you. You don't want to have a range trade activating at the same time as you have another trade activating. Let's go over our RTY because we have 4 minutes. The main trade on the RTY is the RTY range trade. That will get turned on first. Right click the chart, RTY range, start 9:30, end at 9:30.00, end 9:30.00. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 10, target 2 is 20. Stop is 35, BE minus 4 on the break, target 1 stop move. The range start time, 9:25.00, 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. Label it RTY range. Choose the account you're trading it in. Okay?
From when
Choose the
this
account you're
call
trading
shall
it in.
discuss cooperation
I
between
need my
European and US companies
RTYs
further
in the
expanding
right account.
in support of mutual interests.
RTY reverse continue was simply a 35 target and a 35 stop. And our RTY magnet, we're just looking at signals, 35 or a 40 stop. Okay. When you change the account, make sure you put the account you're trading as your chart trader. So turn on my RTY range magnet reverse continue. What's going to happen now in 2 minutes or so, our MNQ, pre-MNQ 925 brackets will trigger. No, the software should not allow you to be just short or long. The market, you have a choice, Lee, in the software. If you want to, there is a way in the software to say short or long only. If you think you're smart enough to outsmart market movement, we give you that opportunity. There is a direction input in the software, but think about it. Most of these cases, and I like your name, by the way. Lee is a great name. In the most cases, we're letting the market direction make the direction decision for us. Okay? So we have a breakout on the MNQ, and you'll see it's going to trigger now. Yeah, I think the market's going short, but I'm going to let the market make the decision because 100 times it'll go long and give me a winning trade. I'm not smarter than the market movement. That's what we've learned over the years. There are times when, yeah, you'll get it right with analysis, but more often than not, just let the setups work, let the market choose the direction, and that's the way we do it because that's the way we do it. So that answers your question. However, right now I've got a trade triggering. When we're done, I'll show you where in this software you can choose direction. We should get a fill short here is my guess,
Order submitted.
and a push to the, well, maybe
Order
not.
submitted.
I did not want to get filled long. So look, Lee, you're going to be right today. We're going to get stopped. This market's going
Order
to go
held.
short. So today you might have outthought the market, but I've seen it not work so many times that I'm willing to take the small loss today for all the other times it works the right way. I just, you don't know if it's the right day to outthink the market. Today it was, but just from experience, it is frustrating that it didn't work, especially when you think it wasn't going to work. But there's so many times it just surprises you. Turning off the pre-market open, getting rid of that setup, it didn't work. And I'm going to quickly configure our 9:30 open. Check the bracket. 9:29.59 is our trigger. All right, putting it on 0. 20 and 100 on the targets. BE on the stop move, and the stop is 125. Labeled breakout MNQ. Putting it on sim for a minute to test the bracket. Spread the chart a little bit. Put the charts on sim. I don't like losing money, but I'm just, from
Order
experience,
submitted. Order
we
canceled.
know it could have gone long and worked. As you'll see, we'll see what happens the open today. Today may be one of those days where it's very negative. It just might be that way. And if you choose, so in the software, there is a direction somewhere. I never do it. So I don't even know where it is anymore. Under optional direction, both long only, short only. Okay? So you can do it. Putting our breakout back on the chart we're trading on. Put our time back to 9:29.59. Apply it. Okay it. Put our chart back to the chart we're trading. And now we're ready. All right, we've got our range trade is calculating on the RTY. And then on our breakout MNQ needs to be turned on. That'll trigger at 9:30. Our YM range, I'm trading a magnet. I think we're going to test the low on the YM. That's what I'm thinking. So I've turned on my magnet auto by pressing the magnet entry button. That turns it auto. If we shoot up and test the high, I'll enter at the high because I have an order up at the high. No way are we making new highs today. Do I know that? No. These markets insane easily could make a new high. Could happen in a second. Could happen in a second.
Italy's 10-year bond yield rising to forceful 0.97%, highest since March.
So, crappy scalping, right?
1 minute ago now to give you
Crappy
macro and open
scalping,
imbalance
not
data.
taking a long signal before the open. I suppose you could. You could take that signal. 1 week I said we're going to just take signals the whole morning for a week. That'd be a lot of fun. Very curious about whether the YM makes a new low and bursts through it. And I forgot something on the YM. I can't change it, but I didn't turn on the. I don't think I put on 2 orders on the YM. I don't know what the heck I did on that
5
magnet
seconds.
trade on the YM. We're going to find out. I'm going to keep an eye on that
Order
chart.
submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Market and open
Order
imbalance
Okay,
data.
failed.
500 buy
MNQ
side 300 million.
Order
Nasdaq
failed.
100 buy side
pulled back,
31.2
small
million.
winner.
Dow 30 buy side 25.2
RTY,
million. Mag 7 buy
target
side 1
1
million.
reversal, it looks like. Now I'm watching my YM.
Order failed.
YM just shot like a banshee
Order
I'm
filled.
closing that because I wound up with
Big value
no
on that.
orders,
So
no
a little bit of move
stops.
towards the upside
It's a
on the
market
Bldg
open.
and a
It
little
was
bit
a
of move
winning
towards the upside
trade,
on the
winning
Bldg.
magnet. I'll take it. Now I can turn on my reverse continue again and my
Trump
magnet again.
says that there are no talks or conversations
Now,
going on or
I
scheduled
don't
with
have a
the
trade
Iranians.
that I
The
want to
pivot blockade
take
remains
here,
in full force and effect. Most trade
but
is open and operating. All auto mines are removed or
we
detonated.
just made a
Again,
new
Trump says
low,
no
so you
talks
don't
with the
want your high
Iranians.
of day, low of day orders on. You don't want them on. So let me try to recap what happened. That was such a fast market open. But Lee, look at what happened here. It hit my first
There'll
target,
be some production
which
loss
was the
across Europe across the
most
July 29th.
contracts. I had 3 contracts on my first target. And then it reversed and stopped. So it was just a tiny winner. It was only a $30 winner. The YM, we can watch the video in a minute. It was kind of crazy. I did not have my magnet set up, I don't think, the way I normally would have wanted to set it up. Let me double check. Normally in the morning on the magnet, no, see on the YM, I had a 2 contract magnet,
For
1
AU,
position,
CBRA is falling 10%, the biggest drop since
which
June
there's
5th.
nothing wrong with that. But it went so far through the magnet today. Normally what I do on the YM is we do a position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target 1 exits at the magnet. That's the default. 3 ticks before it gets there. And then target 2, we do 10 or 15. And if it goes through the magnet, that's our second order, our second position. Today I had position 1 was 2 contracts. So when it hit the magnet level, it took us out. And it wasn't a bad trade. It just wasn't very big. So the magnet this morning on the YM was set up just as a simple 2 contract trade. Now, if I was going to take a trade, I would just use the magnet for signals and I would use the reverse continue if I was going to do any entering. Okay. Now, because I was explaining and talking, I didn't have my order high of day, low of day on my MNQ chart. I might have taken another test of the low on the MNQ, but I'm not going in the MNQ now. It's at new lows. The RTY is interesting. However, if you're a regular here, first off, YM range, we didn't use it. I'm erasing it. Remove it. RTY range is done. I'm turning it off. I'm changing my RTY setups to my eval account. If I want to scalp RTY, I'm not giving up $200 in profit on one of my best funded accounts to scalp RTY, which is my worst scalping instrument. So I'm putting all my RTY setups into my eval by changing the account to the eval and applying it. So if I want to scalp RTY, I can do it without damage anything that will ruin my day. Don't forget to put your chart trader on that account so you see everything. Now I can turn my RTY magnet on and the reversal, remove the range. Once you turn the range off, never turn it back on because it will turn your orders back on. The software will think the range time is over, it passed. It calculates the range and throws your orders on. Don't turn it back on. Remove it so you don't make a mistake. All right? Remove it. Remove your breakout MNQ open. That trade's over. It's done. So now we just have reversals available and magnets for signals. Or you could put your magnets high of day, low of day. If the MNQ goes up a bunch, then I might be interested in a low of day test again. This market's negative, right? So if we go to make a new low on the MNQ, I might be willing to trade that. I might. The MNQ is down 370 points. I'm not interested, I don't think, in longs right now. The RTY gave a signal as it was making a new low, right? That was a VWAP signal, though. You got to be careful. This, I've never seen this before. It gave a VWAP short signal, and right before that, it gave a low of day. I've not seen the VWAP and the low of day so close that they both generated signals. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. You got to make sure you understand what's going on. We tested the VWAP. Our signals generate when we test the VWAP, and our signals generate when we test the high of day, low of day. You can turn that off. You can say just test one or the other. If I uncheck the RTY magnet, right, and go into the setup, right at the top, or no, sorry, a little bit scroll down for your signals. Where are they? I never turn them off. Where's my signals? VWAP. Aftershock reversal. High of day signals are on. VWAP are on. If you just want to test high of day, then you won't get a signal if you turn off your VWAP. All right. We give you a lot of control in the software. There's a lot of things we don't do often, but they are there. All right. They are there. That's why we have a masterclass video, and that's why we're always doing new webinars, going over things maybe we haven't talked about previously, but now we talk about it, right? Notice
S&P 500 Energy Index
the
has hit
YM.
its first record since March.
It's in a pretty, how tight is the range? 311, 594, 280 points between the high and the low. Now, MNQ, I'm not jumping on long trades. You might get one that works. You got goofy looking momentum from the open. I think we'll probably get another test of the low. What do you think? The VWAP is an interesting area. You break the VWAP, then maybe I would take a long at some point. But right now, I'm not dying to take a long on the MNQ.
Keep an eye on the market again, seeing a further a decline
If
of
I don't have
the
an
dollar.
agreeable
Some of the
candle
new missing
color
needs that have just come through.
after a long,
Of course, if there's anything, we'll relay that to you as soon as we
hold
can.
on, tweeting. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. That's mental illness. All water mines have been removed or detonated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The, the Hormuz Strait is open and operating, but nobody's going through it. Okay. That's not, makes no sense. It's nonsense. It's a nonsensical statement. Everything else, that is a statement. All right. But the strait is not open. If the strait were open, ships would be traveling through it, delivering oil. It's not a complicated concept. You got a long YM signal off the low, off the low. Now, interestingly, you're getting a reverse, getting a nice reversal off the MNQ. What's the stop? If you get a long signal and you take it somewhere in here, if you took it, so you got a long on this candle. When this candle closed, it was probably not until this candle closed. So maybe you got in somewhere around here. It's a pretty darn big stop. 300 tick stop. You know, okay, that's $150. It's not that bad with micros, right? It's tradable. It's $150 per contract. Oh, I see what you're saying, Nitin. You know what? That's something in all the years I've been doing this, I've never, ever changed it, Nit. It's just something, the default is the way we've always traded it. I've never, ever changed it. So what's the default? Start behavior? Where is, I don't even know where it is. I never look at it. But that's funny that you look at that. I've never paid attention to it ever, ever, ever. That's funny. Just something, never paid attention to it. I normally don't enter a trade unless I'm flat and out of everything, right? I mean, that's basically what you're saying. That you're entering trades. Are you saying you're entering trades? Tell me what you're doing. What are you doing? What are you using it for? YM. Look, son of a gun. These signals worked. These signals worked. So here's what's interesting, Nitin. This was never an issue. Um, was never an issue before prop trading. You know, never came up because you didn't get this level of ghost orders. So I'm gonna actually talk to the programmer about it. I'm gonna talk to the programmer about it just to see if he has any ideas about if there's things that can be done about making things better if there are ghost orders. We've asked everybody a million times if there's any way to make things better when you get frozen orders, ghost orders, whatever you want to call them. I think I'll take a risk for another test of the low here. Let's see if we get it. I mean, I'd rather be in my eval, but I'm not. All right. I'm not. RTY, I was not watching. It gave a great signal. I might have taken that signal. On the RTY magnets now, new version, we have audio alerts. I'm a dope for not turning on the audio alerts. All right. We have audio alerts. Where are they? I have no idea where they are. I don't remember. Somewhere. Alerts. ARS alerts. Bingo. I'm going to make some of my own sounds for them. I'm not going to chase. Probably not going to chase here. Now, this is invisible. This order that disappeared, I have an update that should fix that because that should not ever happen. That Remember there was a signal there, it disappeared. So I have an update. I didn't install it this morning. RTY, I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm still watching this one final trade before we talk about pending home sales, which is at 10 o'clock. That's the last thing I'm going to stick around for. I'm not dying to take this trade. The momentum has slowed to the downside. I think there's some risk in it. I mean, it's not going to blow up my funded account, but it's a great funded account. It's doing well. It needs more money, but it's doing well. I'm going to turn off. So I'm done right now with the RTY. I'm turning off my RTY. Let me just make a note of something. Hang on, I'm sorry. Okay. I think, so let's turn off our RTYs. What do we have turned on? Just the reversal. I'm done right now with my RTY chart. See you later. And I'm done with my RTY setups. Remove, right click, remove. That's why we label our setups. All right. That's why we label them. Now, middle chart is going to become ES for pending homes.
Order submitted.
Okay, I'm taking this. I took this shot. I may regret it. I may regret it for a test of the low, a partial test of the low. We got a big pop in momentum, but I think this market's so darn choppy now. You could see the chop. I think the stop should be above that candle probably, but this is about all I'm willing to risk. My middle chart, YM, turn off all setups, make it an ES chart. Going to move my stop to safety.
S&P 500
Order
currently
filled.
Oh,
trading
you
at
son of a
high
dog.
past up
All right, too
126.
aggressive. Sorry.
Tim's going to have to be
Too
using
aggressive.
pending home
It's
sales
probably going to
status.
test the low.
Pending
Not
home
going to
sales status
rechase it.
month-to-month
Not going
forecast
to
is
rechase it.
0% minus
Idea was
0.54%,
good.
and pending home sales
Always too
forecast is
aggressive on the
265.
stop. Still recording. Yep. Still recording. Nitin, where the heck is the start behavior? I can't even find it. I don't even remember where it is. Where's my start behavior? Start behavior. Oh, okay. Make sure you have a main news trader on and it's under setup. I'm always wait until flat. Always wait until flat. I'm going to talk to the programmer about that, about how he programmed it, what he was thinking, because it really goes back a long time. Long time. Long time. All right. YM we're changing to an ES. 0926. Housing reports move a little bit on the ES at times. Son of a dog, MNQ, it's going to test the low again. Going to get another magnet. You'd be entering right now. Watch it test the low. Poor man's magnet. Instant short with the reverse continue, right? I call that a poor man's magnet. If you think it's going, you could hit your instant short button on your reverse continue and you got a poor man's magnet. We don't have much time for pending homes. Putting on micro gold, 1226. Let's do a quick reset of the strategies. MNQ magnet becomes a micro gold magnet. 50 on the stop. Everything else stays the same. All right, just label it. MGC magnet. And this goes eval, not funded for pending homes. Pending homes has not worked. Apply it. Reverse continue. Same thing. Eval. Label it MGC. Reverse continue, and we'll turn it into 50 on the target, 50 on the stop. Put a reverse continue, fast one on the ES chart. Right click strategy, change the YM reverse continue to an ES, 25 target, 25 stop. And I'll do that in my eval also. ES reverse continue. Probably not going to trade it, so I'm not worried about it. Apply it, and we'll turn the magnet into an ES magnet also. 25 on the stop. All right. 25 on the stop. Label it ES magnet. It's on the eval. You could trade MES too if you prefer less risk. All right. Our trade that we looked into was pending homes. We did a spike sheet on it. It's had 3 alone trades in the past 3 months. The ES breakout was terrible, not worth trading. But we have a gold trap. So it's a micro gold trap. Turning it on. I'll trade it in my eval. I'm going to label it trap GC. In the eval. Trigger at 9:59:55. Tier 1 is 20, and this is the problem. Same as before. 40 on the stop. Tier 1 is 20. Tier 2 is 39. This market just might be too darn volatile for tiers that small. All right. Turn on the trap. Make sure you can see the cancel out a tier. Again, it's not going to blow up an eval. All right. I'm not trading it in a funded account. So make sure your chart trader and make sure
Prime
your
is confirming if
accounts
the US
are in
pending
the
homes
right
index change month
place.
to month. Forecast 0% prime minus 5.4%.
Spread it a little bit.
Pending homes
Let's put
index
our
prime
news on the
62.5.
screen. No, There's nowhere to put comments. Arthur, where would the comment be? I'm not I'm not looking at the code. We're using a closed version. We don't have the ability to look at the code. All right. Now, what's interesting is at 9:15, capacity utilization, industrial production. Not much movement on the ES. Doesn't look like all that much movement on gold. You got to check a little better than just what I just did. Pending homes. All right. Can I shrink this without screwing it up? Ah, you animal. Okay. So I'll show you the spike sheet if I can. Give me a second. I have to find out something very important. When are the Phillies playing today? Spike sheet, 6:40. I love evening games. Pending homes. ES trap, no movement. 8 ticks, 10 ticks. Not viable. Okay. Gold trap, 71 ticks. That's a problem. Hang on, folks. I made a mistake. I made a big mistake. Big, big, big mistake. Cancel your pending homes trade. It has to be 50, 55, and 90. 55 and 90 on the tiers. 55 and 90. Let's double check it. Turn off your trade. Turn off your pending homes trap. We've got 71 tick move and an 80 tick move. So really it should be 60 and 95. 60 and 90 is what I'm making it. 60 and 90. Highlight the trap. 20 and 39 would be a stop if it moves that way. 60 and 90. I'd rather have no fill, but be set up properly. All right. You want to be set up properly. Now turn it back on with 60 and 90 as your tiers. That makes a heck of a lot more sense, too, with the kind of movement we're getting in gold today. Arthur, what I'm saying is I don't use the
1 minute to go
version
now. Looks to
that
be pending homes
has
still
any
change month to month.
comments, even if he did make comments. I can't load the version, the open version. So that's the open source version. But my recollection is he doesn't do that. And it's easy enough for me to just send him an email. So we're watching the ES. They're expecting, I'd like to see the number of pending homes.
10 seconds.
There's nothing I hate. 4 point, no, there is no
Order submitted.
forecast. No forecast. I'd be shocked if we get filled. I'd be
Minus 2 spot
shocked.
3%, minus 2 spot 3%,
I'd
lower bid
love to
forecast
get
0%.
filled
Pending homes
short to
index
the
71
upside.
spot 2, 71
Love to
spot
get
2.
filled short to the upside. Oh, they are expecting 0%, and they got worse, negative 2.3. That's very bad news. Very bad pending homes news. Probably the ES is going to go test its low.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
I think ES is going to test the low. I'll go for like a 3/4 test. Stop at the top of the candle for a small stop. All right. Not a very big stop. We got filled
We have
on our
another
first
US candle
order,
closed July 2026
short
with
on
gold
gold.
indicator 333.
See if it goes and fills to the high side. Okay. Now, if the ES takes me out, I'll let it take me out kind of small. Gold, if we get our reversal, is it starting? If it's starting, I'll cancel my outer tier. I need to see it. See, I turned my strategies on in the wrong order. That's why I don't see that cancel. Okay. That's why you got to do it the right way. Now, I just made the chart wider. It's no big deal. I would really hate. Come on, ES. You should at least let me get into profit. It's going to stop me. It should probably be a bigger stop, honestly, but it's an
Order
eval.
filled.
It's my
Order filled.
eval. I'm going to leave it be. Now look at the trap trade. That's more of an issue. The trap, you could bring your opposite orders now are now targets. Bringing them up a bit. Can always expand them if we get our reversal. So we're now maybe we're starting to get our reversal. I'll expand my set. Maybe not. It's very choppy. I don't really see a necessity to expand the stop on gold. I mean, maybe look right above that wick, this wick here is where I'm bringing my stop. If gold wants to make a reversal here and move to the upside, there's not going to be any stopping it, honestly. So the ES, it just didn't work. You know, I and I made a mistake on the ES. Let's be honest. What did I do wrong? I entered a short with momentum long. Never do that. Never. You see what I mean? The squeeze was long and I entered a short. I know better, but I wasn't, I was distracted and I didn't follow my rule. When you don't follow your rule, what happens? 9 times out of 10, what happens? You get stopped. Almost always if you don't follow your rule. So I didn't. Now, gold, our trap is just not working. It happens. You know, we're not out of it yet, but I'm comfortable with where my stop is. Totally comfortable where the stop is. Gold is still negative on the day. There's no denying that. But since the open, it really has become a bit more bullish, right? You can see it. You can see it. Higher lows, right? You know the old technical analysis typicality, higher lows by quite a bit. So we may not get out of this gold trade. That's why I'm doing it in the eval. I took all the crappy trades. If you follow what I did, I took all the crappy trades in the eval because the eval costs $19 to get a new one if I blow it up, and I'm nowhere near close to blowing it up. My eval is actually over where I started. Okay? It's not great. It's only 400 bucks over, but it's not blowing up. Today was a small day. One funded account made over 200, a good funded, and one lost $86. Nothing terrible happened today. All right? Nothing terrible happened, and I traded the best trades in the right place. The ES, it's still going to do what I said it's going to do. It's going to test that low. The setup was the VWAP reversal. We didn't get a signal because we didn't get a proper momentum change. All right. Now my trap trade is starting to work. I want to look at this later. Trap trade's starting to work. So I could have moved my stop to safety and I didn't. Let's see what happens. I might regret it. But if I had moved it to safety, I'd be out of the trade with like a $8 profit. So honestly, at this point, I'm going to let the trap trade. Let's at least see if it'll hit the first target. Anyone have any questions as we're getting ready to finish out the morning? This will be the last trade. Now, if I get an ES short here, I would take it, signal. The stop would be above the VWAP. If I get a signal, I would risk it. You could take a short right now with a stop above the VWAP.
Order submitted.
It's not a very big stop, not a very big risk to see if we could at least break these candles. Break these candles or not. It's only a one position trade. Al, the single stock futures, they're just not tradable. It's not that we can't trade them, they have no volume. They have no volume. I was talking to Ninja about it yesterday. So, James, it's $149 when you go from active fund when you go to funded. It's probably the only negative of Bullinox. Is they're a little expensive when you go to funded, but they're very inexpensive on the evals, 1925 for 50K. Every company does it differently. Some have no fee on the funded and they are 80, every month if you don't pass. Honestly, what I've loved about Bullinox, they just leave you alone. They leave you alone. I love that.
Turkish Foreign Ministry
All
say they
right.
strongly condemn airstrikes by Israel on Syrian bases.
That's a good question. Al, I don't know the answer to that. I don't use a copier. What's the policy of most companies? Do most companies charge for a copier? I'm protecting my profit on the ES. I'll expand my target. If we get more of a move down, I'll start trailing from here. Top of the wick. Expand the target to the low or to almost to the low. Top of the wick. Top of the candle. If it breaks the wick, I'll trail. All right. Breaks the wick, I'll trail. Target going to the low. Did it break the wick there? Yep. Trailing to S2. Not a meaningful pivot for me. If it breaks the wick here, I'll trail again. Otherwise, I'm staying right where I am. It's going to get me. Come on. Break the wick. Break the wick. It broke the wick, but not well. Top of the candle. Broke the wick. 1, 2 ticks. Broke the wick.
Order filled.
Going right to the low. We hit our first target. Stop goes to safety. Expanding to the low. These are the lows I've been waiting for all morning, folks, that have been stopping me out, right? Now we're starting to get there. The ES broke the wick. Don't be a schmick. Trail the tick. Gold trail a little bit. Micro gold trail. That's about as far as I want to go. That's probably too close. I'm going to bring it up. Broke the wick on the ES. Wow. Now I'm going all the way down because it tested the low. That was was only maybe not a test, but oh man, it was only like 1 or 2 ticks away from a test. So top of the wick, I'll be real aggressive now for the profit.
Order filled.
$400. That was a $600 trade because I was down $100. That was a great trade. Our gold trap. Gold trap. If we can get some cooperation. Cooperation. Resolution. Does anyone remember that song? Reiteration. Who knows what that song is? Observation. Desperation. Abbreviation. Compassion. Who knows what band that is? All right, YouTube. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. We're going to close out our YouTube stream. Check the chat, please, for our Ninja Trader webinar Thursday, 4:30. It's a big one. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. You'll be able to hear all the great music that I can't sing. So thanks, everyone on YouTube.